Um, Something that participating in this class helped alter the way that I see myself, in the sense that I come from a family of two parents that have gotten divorced, and I also suffer from mental illness, and I always blamed it on the fact that it was my I blamed it on the fact that it was the fault of my parents' divorce. But realistically, after I read the whole thing of the article that we had read, that you made us read, and like reading the textbook and noticing that children usually don't like suffer from a lot of mental illness, or like other relationship like habits of relationship, like they don't really necessarily get those things from the divorce, but it's from other traumatic things that happen to them. And that honestly helped me unpack a lot of stuff, in a sense, because it made me realize that it wasn't just that. It wasn't the divorce's fault that I am the way that I am. And it also helped me view society in a sense of like reading on how men and women are like everything, like how separated they are. It really makes me realize how much more work we have to be doing to get to a place where we are going to be okay. In the sense that women need to, like, in the sense that women need to, it's just, I'm sorry, it's just like we have so much more work to do to get in a place of equality between men and women. And it's really frightening, because sometimes reading these articles and seeing like the statistics of how if you do become equal, it could have a downside, in the sense that, like, going back to the article of what we were reading of like similarities between same difference in a heterosexual relationships, and how if you have so many similarities, you have the downside of not having a lot of sex. And that's just very interesting to me, because it's just kind of like you never really necessarily win when it comes to equality. Like, you don't win. Like, you get equality, but you lose something else. And it's just, you have to like weigh the odds out. And it's just something that I never really like considered. And I don't really think a lot of people consider like the fact that when you get equality, there is going to be a lot of downsides that have to weigh out, like the negatives have to weigh out the positives. And it's one of those things where it's just like, it surprises me, and I don't think a lot of people put so much thought into that either. Something that I want to keep on researching independently, I guess something that really did catch my eye when we were reading and like within the articles of everything, is the way how relationships are starting to morph in like now. Like, I never really considered how different our relationships are, and how much goes into it, and how many factors are involved in it. Like, our relationships from like compared to the 1950s or 1920s has completely evolved, and that's very very like frightening, because it's just like so many statistics have been coming out that I want to keep on reading about, because this is eventually going to affect me, my friends, hopefully my children, if I ever do have children. It is going to affect them, and I would like to see how that changes, how these little factors, these changing factors is gonna like change and evolve relationships in a completely. And I don't know, I would just really like to see that, and I would keep on liking to research that, because it's very interesting to think that different factors like change completely the whole relationship of everything.